So turning up the road there, it's hard to see, but that was it looked like a black Civic to me. It looked like a black four-door sedan, and we've documented it how many times now that these people come from Hyde Park Road, which is 10 kilometers an hour faster than this road in the wintertime, which we're getting into because it's the end of November. In the wintertime, Hyde Park Road's fully plowed, fully salted, and they come over to this road that has a traffic light and a stoplight on it, is 10 kilometers an hour slower, and in the case of the wintertime, is not plowed, documented on this channel, and is not salted, documented on this channel. So it begs the question, why would you go from a faster road to a slower road? And the best answer that I can come up with is a fear of missing out, the old FOMO as the kids call it these days. And that's the best I can come up with, because it's hard to rationalize an irrational thought. Right? So they're still up there. You can see their taillights. But yeah, that's the best I can come up with, because it's hard to rationalize an irrational thought.
Certificate says CFPLFM, but the back of our... Walking the dog?
We've got a sign for that. Hits of the 80s, 90s, and
Some
more.
things that we've seen too is drivers zigzag. So they'll come up here from the 90 kilometer hour road and then they'll zigzag going over to like the highway, let's say, you know, which also doesn't make sense and is inexcusable. And what I should have maybe started with, so sorry, there's two things I should have started with, but the very first one is I live on this road, Wonderland Road, and my destination's at the end of this road. The crow doesn't fly that straight. But the second thing is that that traffic light back there was installed by Middlesex Center because of the amount of people that are cutting through. They call it shortcutting traffic in their traffic calming policies and their traffic calming bylaw. And if you blinked, you missed the other 5 houses that are on this street or on this section where the traffic light's installed, and we're going to come up to the only other 2. So there, we've documented this how many times now. You can go back and check for yourself. There is only 7 houses on this road, so I don't think those 7 houses generate enough traffic to justify putting in a traffic light, and they're the ones that pay the taxes that support that traffic light. So it's very unfair that, first of all, that somebody like me that absolutely has to use this road is now punished, but also the people that live on this road and pay the taxes, now they're the ones that are responsible for that, right? They didn't ask for it. They weren't the ones that were the problem, but they're the ones left with the quote-unquote solution. So, anyways, it's very frustrating. But I'm going to guarantee that they hang a left. And just now they pull a 360, they're backtracking on themselves. And at the very least, they're hanging a right and they're heading back to the highway, and they could have just stayed on Ilderton Road, that road that they turned off of, and they would have already been at the highway, they would have already been at their destination. So that is not the vehicle, that gray SUV that turned. are they turning? They're hanging a left. Like, I might be wrong one of these days, but it's not going to be today, and it's not going to be a day that ends in Y. So they came from a road that was 10 kilometers an hour faster than this one, had no stop signs, no stops on it, no traffic lights, no nothing. And in the case of the winter, which we're getting into right now, that road that they came from is fully plowed, fully salted. I just, again, it's hard to rationalize irrational thoughts. So it's unfair that I have to pay for that, and the people that live there have to literally